What do you make of it so far, Tom?
Well, we're starting to see a picture emerge here, and frankly, it's not pretty for the Conservative Party. We all knew that this was going to be a very tough election for the Tories, who, of course, have been trailing around 14, 15 points behind in the national polls. But sometimes things are a little bit different in local elections. And really, looking at the detail of this, we have had two big council gains for the Labour Party so far. One in Stoke-on-Trent and one in Plymouth. Now, these aren't necessarily the sort of places that you'd think that the Labour Party would be storming ahead in unless they were on course for a pretty decent victory at a general election. Stoke-on-Trent is often spoken about as a sort of Brexit capital of the UK. And the fact that the Labour Party has made such strong advances in that area in particular should be indicative of areas that have become to be known as the Red Wall. For the Conservatives' part, they have been saying that we should really be comparing what is going on now with 1995. They say that if the Labour Party wants a 1997-style election victory, we need to look at what happened at the local elections in 1995. What happened then? The Conservatives lost 2,000 seats and the Labour Party gained 1,800 seats. We're not looking like that's going to happen this morning. It looks like at the bad end the Tories may lose around 1,000 seats. The Labour Party, for their part, say that that's a completely wrong comparison to make 1995, however, because many more seats were up for grabs then. There were seats being fought in Scotland and in Wales as well as in England, whereas this time it's just in England. So we're starting to see a bit of a battle of spin take place now in terms of how bad is it for the Tories? Is it very bad, or is it less bad than we saw, for example, in the 1990s? This is the sort of battle of airwaves that we're going to be seeing a lot more of over the next few hours.
Yes, of course, and the local elections are seen, aren't they, as a test of Rishi Sunak's leadership. And he has already conceded that last night and today will be tough for the Tories. He's warned about that. But he's insisted that the Tories are moving away from the box-set drama of Boris Johnson's leadership and also the short Liz Truss administration as well. You were tweeting overnight, Tom, that there was pizza being delivered to number 10. How do you think it's going down in Downing Street?
Yes, personally bought by the Prime Minister, I've been told. 10 boxes of pizza for those working at Conservative campaign headquarters overnight. I don't know if it's all been eaten yet. I suspect it has been. But clearly it is a long night for the Conservative Party. And the difficulty here is that only around a quarter of these votes have been counted so far. The vast bulk of the counting is going to be taking place from this morning onwards. So frankly, it's going to be a long day, and we may well yet see some regional variation take place too. We're going to be keeping our eyes on these numbers, as no doubt is the Labour Party headquarters, the Lib Dems and the Tories spinning out their best results each.
What do we make of the turnout, Tom? Because, I mean, there is an argument to be made, isn't there, that perhaps some Tory voters, because they're fed up, have just stayed away.
Yes, this is what some opinion pollsters have been saying really over the last year or so, that there hasn't been such a surge in support for the Labour Party as much as Conservatives who might feel like they're going to sit on their hands this time round. It has to say turnout does not look particularly high in this set of local elections. Turnout's never particularly high in local elections. And there's the added complication this time around that this was the first set of elections where people needed in-date physical identification to vote. And anecdotally, that doesn't seem to have changed a great deal of turnout, but here and there have been some people who have been turned away at the polls. It has to be said, more likely to be elderly people than young people, and judging by how the polls go, how that demographic distribution of votes go, that might hurt the Conservatives more than other parties.